Hey guys, George at the Ski Monster, and today we're going to talk about how ski boot width works and some misconceptions that go along with it. As you can imagine, it's no surprise that ski boots come in different widths. People have narrow feet, medium feet, wide feet, and there should be widths that change through that. And in front of me, I have a 100 mm lasted boot. Basically, what that 100 mm last means is in the forefoot, the widest part of the boot internally, without the liner in there, it's 100 millimeters wide. Now, that is only at 26.5. As you can imagine, bigger feet are wider, smaller feet are narrower, and these boots move proportionally. Now, while this is 100 mm last at a 26.5, in a 24.5, these are actually 96 millimeters wide. And this is true for all manufacturers. Honestly, I can't think of a manufacturer that doesn't follow this rule. But as you fluctuate size from 26.5 going up or down, the width of that boot is going to change by 2 millimeters. So this boot in a 27.5 would be a 102, and a 28, a 104, and in a 25.5, a 98, and what I have in front of me, 96. And Atomic actually, on the bottom of their boots, actually shows the width along with the size on all of them. Not every manufacturer does that, but Atomic does. Now in front of me, I have the Atomic Prime 115 and the Atomic Prime 95. While there's some bell and whistle differences between the two, these things are made out of the same mold. The same tool makes these boots. What's really different about them is the plastic that is injected into them is different. So obviously stiffer plastic in the stiffer boot, softer plastic in the softer boot. The liners are also changing. We have denser materials in the stiffer boot and less dense or softer materials in the softer boot. Now, those differences in shell and liner material are going to affect the way that these boots fit. If you tried them on side by side, the stiffer boot can feel more pressure pointy or narrower than the softer boot. And the reason for that is the stiffer boot with that harder plastic and denser materials in the liner, it has more resistance against your foot. So basically your foot can't move the plastic as easily, so it feels narrower, more pressure pointy in the Prime 115 than it would in the Prime 95. Now, as I mentioned, part of the reason that the Prime 115 is going to feel narrower or maybe more pressure pointy than the Prime 95 is because of it being injected with stiffer plastics. It's a stiffer boot. The same experience happens to people when they actually get out on the hill, because you're putting these boots on at room temperature and 70 degrees. And that's why things can commonly feel really pretty great. And then you get on the hill, especially if it's really cold, that boot gets even stiffer and harder. It's harder for your foot to move that plastic and it feels more restrictive, and you notice more pressure points when you actually go to use the boots. Now, you may be watching this video and know that you're 28.5 centimeters at 116 millimeters wide. You scale up the width of the widest boot off 26.5, and you're finding that there aren't boots that are as wide as your feet. And that's okay. Not to worry, that doesn't mean that you can't ski. There's gonna be an option for you. And boots are really designed to be manipulated. That's all case by case, and it's gonna depend what we do for each given foot. But in general, people with wider feet have a more supple foot. Their feet are squishier. They can handle more compression. So your foot going into something narrower isn't going to feel like you're getting absolutely crushed when you're out there. Okay, so big takeaways here. Ski boot width is scaled. It's not all the same width in every single size in a model. That changes. And basically in every brand I can think of, it's fluctuating 2 millimeters per size. Temperature also affects ski boots. If you've ever skied in the spring, your boots can feel pretty roomy. If you ski when it's freezing, they can feel pretty tight because there is more pressure against your foot when it's really cold, and there's less pressure against your foot when it's really warm. And, you know, we can't stress enough the importance of going to see a boot fitter to get you in the right boot. There is the right boot for you out there, and a great boot fitter can make it work. Any other questions, give us a call, shoot an email, or book an appointment with us here in Boston.